So you know the story of James. James is Jesus' brother, which means he's got an awful lot of inside knowledge on how we should act. And if you're ever feeling comfortable in your faith, you read the book of James, because by the time you're finished, you'll want to give yourself an uppercut because you've been playing too small. But it's really interesting because James talks about doing good deeds, and he says faith without works, right, is dead. And I find that whole concept really interesting because, in the New Testament, the 300 pages before James turns up in the Bible, we're trying to convince us of one thing, that faith alone is enough, right? And our head can't always get around that. We want to do performance. So we spend it, like the whole New Testament is trying to convince us faith alone. Then Jimmy James turns up and says, no, it's faith and works. But he goes on to explain what he means. He says, the works is not a performance metric to get you in. The good deeds don't get you in. He said, the good deeds are the visible evidence that you have an alive faith, which means that actually faith and deeds are inseparable. So what he's saying is, yeah, faith alone is enough, but because he actually calls it an alive faith, which means by implication that you can have a dead one. So James says that the evidence of a real faith is that there will be good deeds. There'll be works. They're not counted for whether you get in. You're already in. But what he's saying is you get to choose whether your faith is alive or dead. The hallmark of one that's alive is it'll come with works. And I am convinced on a separate note that the reason why the vast majority of Christians do not evangelize is because they don't want somebody else to have the life that they've got. A dead faith. They are concerned to evangelize because they are concerned that there's not that much life in what they've got and they're scared to let anybody else do the same. We need to understand that what does works look like for a kingdom entrepreneur? It looks like going into business, working really hard, over-servicing over a 10 to 15 year period of time until you're insanely profitable, and then you can use that money to fund your church because they need aircon and they need a building, or whatever, fund an evangelistic crusade, or start a ministry where you get alongside the poor, or start a ministry where you get alongside high net worth individuals who want to kill themselves, or there's about 4 million ors that you could go and do to help advance the kingdom of God. But what James is saying if you really want to play this game, then you are going to have good deeds around you. I guess my question for you is, in our response to what we're about to go through in the next 3 to 4 years, what will be the tangible works that we will be able to see in your life? Oh, well, I'm going to raise kids. Awesome, but that's not works. I'm talking about deeds. I'm talking about good works. What will you establish? What will you do? What will you fund? What will you get alongside? What will you help scale? There's got to be some tangible here. Because James says, without it, you've got a dead faith. And I don't know about you, but I don't want one of those.
Well, hey, if you enjoyed that episode, would you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell icon so that you get the alerts of all of the future episodes? It would mean the world to me if you would do that right now.